We already have a caller on the line for you. So,
right.
Kawana down in Bessemer. Kawana, good evening to you. How are you this evening?
I'm doing fine, and yourself?
We are well, and we are glad that you are calling in and here to help. So if you will, go right ahead with your question for Rhonda.
Good afternoon or good, I don't know what time of the day it is or night. My spouse applied for Chapter 7 or Chapter 13, and we was going back and forth with courts with Chapter 13, Chapter 7. But anyway, we got a notice on April the 23rd saying the bank had won the court case. And since April the 23rd, we haven't got a letter. So, what is the next process? Will the sheriff come and put a note on the door, or do we have to leave? Or, how does that work?
Well, it really depends on where she's at in the process. So, if it's a Chapter 7, that matters. That's a different process than a Chapter 13. If they've gone through the bankruptcy court already and the judge has done what we call lift a stay, so the judge is saying that the bank can proceed. That's what it sounds like what's happened here. Or perhaps maybe her bankruptcy is over, but the stay is lifted. Then the bank still has to follow the mortgage, and the mortgage gives instructions on what has to happen when there's going to be a foreclosure. And so they have to give a notice, and maybe that's what she's got. I'm not real clear if she's got a notice that there's going to be a foreclosure sale set, or if she's got a notice that maybe one already has happened and she's being told that she has to vacate the property. So I'm not real clear on that. I'd be glad to answer her questions with more detail, but it's really hard to know because that process is
very difficult.
Yeah, it's a difficult process.
I know somebody else, but does it get confusing for folks who own houses and have mortgages and if you could explain this, when they take out a mortgage with one entity and then it changes hands, the mortgage changes hands, gets sold to other folks. Does that create confusion for your clients?
It creates a lot of confusion, but what's supposed to happen before a mortgage is transferred from one servicer to the other is there should be a notice that's sent to the homeowner to say, hey, this servicer A is going to be transferring your servicing over to B on this date, and then B should also send a notice saying we're going to be servicing effective this date. So some people don't open those letters because they're getting something from somebody they've never heard of or they don't know who they are.
And there's junk mail and there's everybody sending you stuff.
Yeah, and it gets very confusing. And and we see a lot of problems sometimes when the loans are transferred over from one servicer to the other. Maybe some payments get misapplied, or maybe someone's in the middle of what we call a modification, trying to work through some problems when they're behind on their mortgage. We see that stuff get lost. So not only is it confusing for the consumers, it can also be confusing for the servicers.
I bet.